They're going to burn my son and spread his ashes. I have nothing. I have nothing.
After months of searching, a Church Point mother shocked to find out her son was not only dead, but that he was cremated without her knowledge or consent. Tonight, News 15 investigates next of kin confusion in Louisiana. This mother claims a Louisiana coroner did not do enough to find family after her son died. And as we uncovered, she is not alone.
Caleb was a type of person that he was a hard worker. He liked to make people laugh. And he liked to help people.
Caleb Rowell's early life looked like any other's. Birthday parties, hobbies like martial arts, dirt bikes, music, and learning to drive. But like so many others, life for Caleb later took a wrong turn.
He had the problem with the alcohol and drugs.
In the summer of 2023, Caleb was living in Baton Rouge and still struggling. Back in Church Point, Caleb's mother, Janet Bonnet, says she last spoke to her son in August of that year.
When I had heard that he was going back into rehab, it wasn't a big deal to not hear from him for a little while because they take everything, and especially if he's in a good place or a better place, I didn't expect to hear.
But as the months went by, Janet says she had a gut feeling something was wrong. In April, 8 months after she last spoke to her son, she made a phone call to Baton Rouge police that changed her life forever.
They cut me off and said, hold on, and then they got back on and said, we're going to have someone call you back. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I knew something was wrong.
On September 20th, 2023, a man was found dead on the sidewalk outside the Baton Rouge bus station. He wasn't carrying any ID. The coroner ruled the man's cause of death accidental, blaming it on mixed drug toxicity. And using fingerprints, detectives were able to identify the body within hours. The man was Caleb Rowell. He was 38 years old.
No one from the coroner's office called me, and one person from the police department tried to call me with no message left.
When it comes to notifying next of kin, state law only says coroners shall make every reasonable effort. News 15 Investigates filed a public records request with the East Baton Rouge coroner asking for records of any attempts to contact Caleb's family. The coroner's office denied the request, but we did obtain a copy of the Baton Rouge Police Incident Report. It says that for several days and weeks, detectives and coroner's office investigators were unsuccessful at contacting next of kin, and it notes there were no return calls.
I mean, I can't bring, no one can bring him back, but my God, I have nothing.
In November 2023, 2 months after Caleb Rowell was found dead, his body was cremated and his ashes were spread here in the pauper area of this Baton Rouge cemetery. Remember, that was months before his mother even found out he was dead. We've learned this family's story is not isolated, and some are calling for policies and even state laws to change.
There needs to be some real reform.
New Orleans attorney Rick Trahan is familiar with the issue. Among his clients, a DeRitter couple whose son died of an overdose in New Orleans, but they didn't find out he was dead until 8 months after their son was cremated.
This is the worst news anybody ever wants to hear. There needs to be some uniformity instead of having all of these coroners operate essentially as fiefdoms. And there needs to be written protocols and really, specific written protocols with a number of different options to locate next of kin.
News 15 Investigates uncovered different coroners have different policies about notifying next of kin and dealing with unclaimed bodies. We filed public records requests with coroners around the state. In Lafayette, the coroner's office provided policies that even allow for cremated, unclaimed remains to be stored on site for up to 2 years. But others just pointed us to that state law on notifying next of kin, requiring coroners to make every reasonable effort. And in East Baton Rouge Parish, again, where Caleb died, the coroner's office could not provide any records of policies to notify next of kin.
How we treat the remains of the dead, is sacrosanct, irrespective of religion or anything else. How your family members who have died are treated shortly after death, it is important to everyone, and they need to treat it as such.
It's a sentiment Janet Bonnet knows all too well.
I don't believe it, and so I'm fighting with myself with that. And like they're lying to me that Caleb's really out there somewhere. I don't know, man. It's a roller coaster. It's like my moods change, my ideals change. It's horrible. I can't accept his death.
And with no urn or grave to visit, she clings to memories of her son, but also a drive to make a difference in Caleb's name.
We got to get this law changed. I'll do anything. I'll go anywhere. Can't let this happen to another family. And Caleb was an incredible individual. He really was. He had his issues, as we do all, but he was so loving. He was so fantastic, and I miss him really bad.
News 15 Investigates did uncover there is a free federal program that might be able to help out in cases like this. It's called the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, or NamUs. It's a public database of missing and unclaimed people. Some states mandate that coroners and law enforcement post to it, but Louisiana is not one of them. And Janet is hoping to change that. We'll keep you posted on her efforts.